Mishanichnas Adar Marbin B'Simcha. When the month of Adar comes in, we increase our joy. Rashi says, Mishanichnas Adar Yemei Nisim Hayul Yisrael. The days of Adar are days of miracles for the Jewish people. These are miraculous days for Klal Yisrael. And because of the miracles that happened from time immemorial, these are always considered miraculous days, and therefore they're always considered joyous days. And the question then is, when does this happy time begin? When do we begin to observe the joy and the happiness of Adar? When do we begin to observe Mishanichnas Adar Marbin B'Simcha? They asked Reb Chaim Kanievsky, and in our humble Sefer Magid Rakeh we bring, Reb Chaim Kanievsky said, Mishanichnas Adar Marbin B'Simcha begins already Rosh Chodesh Adar, but not the first day of Rosh Chodesh Adar, because the first day of Rosh Chodesh Adar is Lamed Shvat. It begins the second day of Rosh Chodesh Adar. The Ben Ish Chai in the Sefer Adar Eliyahu in Parshas Kisisa says, it doesn't say when Adar begins, it says when Adar enters. It enters from the Moiled. So it would start already this Thursday. Mishanichnas Adar begins on Thursday. However, Rabbi Victor Nevenzal, as reported in Sefer Yerushalayim B'Mayadeha, says Mishanichnas Adar Marbin B'Simcha begins Shabbos, already today. Shabbos, Mevarchim Adar, we begin Mishanichnas Adar Marbin B'Simcha. So already beginning this Shabbos, are Yemei Nisim Hayul Yisrael. You know, everything that happens in the world is divinely orchestrated, and the timing of when it happens is of great significance. On Thursday, Klal Yisrael mourned the terrible news of the return of the bodies of Ariel and Kfir, the Bibas children, and although it brought some closure that they come to Kever Yisrael, nevertheless, the fact that their lives were snuffed short, the fact that they were murdered in cold blood, it's a day of great mourning to the Jewish people. If the president of Argentina declared a national day of mourning for Argentina because this family had some Argentinian citizenship, then certainly for the Jewish people, for brothers and sisters of these people, certainly it's a day of great mourning. And the fact that the news broke on Thursday, why Thursday? Well, that's because this Shabbos began Mishanichnas Adar Marbin B'Simcha. It began days of joy for the Jewish people. It began days of happiness. So to speak, the period of the year that began with Av, where we apply the rule Mishanichnas Ad Av, Mema'atin B'Simcha, and so to speak, the sadness of that time of the year doesn't break until the beginning of Adar. So the Rebbe Shalom says, look, this news has to be from the last chapter of the year, the period before Adar. Well, the last day before Mishanichnas Adar, Mishanichnas Adar begins Shabbos. Hashem doesn't want to disturb Erev Shabbos. Hashem doesn't want to disturb our preparations, so to speak, and our joy that begins on Shabbos, so it breaks on Thursday, before the period of Mishanichnas Adar. And perhaps the message to us is, unfortunately, that was a terrible tragedy, but a tragedy that we hope was in our past. Of course, we never forget it, and we never forgive it, and just like the Ribbon Shalom always remembers the Tsar of Klal Yisrael, he has a brick under his feet, like we read in this week's Parsha, that recalls not only the torment and the pain of the Jewish people, but he always remembers the children who were put into the buildings. Of course, we never forget it, but Be'ezras Hashem, we hope that was in the past period of the year. And now, that was Thursday, that was before Mishanichnas Adar. But beginning today, in Erev Shabbos, Mishanichnas Adar Marbin B'Simcha, Yemei Nisim Hayul Yisrael. And from now on, as we say, let the good time rolls. Let the good times roll. And already on Shabbos, we started Mishanichnas Adar Marbin B'Simcha. And 6 hostages were released. Omer, Tal, Elia, Omer, Avira, and Hisham, they were all released on Shabbos, because already these are days of miracles for the Jewish people. And we hope the Rebbe Shalom should continue to shower us with Nisim and Yeshuas, the Nechamos, and Be'ezras Hashem, we should be Zoicha to the great miracle of the coming of the Gula, B'mheira v'yameinu, Amen. We should all be Zoicha, Mishanichnas Adar, Marbin B'Simcha.